Cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, LoBagers. What up, Spidey across the street? Let's get ready to work. We have a packed show, a packed show. It is Thursday, February 28th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Ann America bound to join us in a few minutes to break down the big UFC card. Then we have Ski Profit joining us to break down this NBA card. And then Maxwell Smart to break down this NCAA basketball card. It is a packed show. We got a great group of cappers in the chat already ready to rock. Stephen Cook, Joe Ramirez, Jorge Don't Play. I'm now following on Twitter, MLB, Major League Baseball specialist. Can't wait to have him rolling with Dave LA and all our other great MLB cappers. Shout out to Jorge Don't Play. Nutflush Allen in the house. Man, I had so much fun with you. In LA. Jose Villegas, Mickey Cohen, Tara Nicole, Paco Healy, Daryl Lyles, an American in the chat. Finn 201. Island Tony, Zervis Mike, Ron Lofton, Mr. Ghoster, Nick the Slick, Joey Avang, Von Polo, Vinny Cornell, David Hutton, Flipper 13. It's time to get to work. Sean Robertson, Andy Townsend, Charles Barkley. Let's get to work. A lot of new information came in about the NBA. People sitting, Durant not in the lineup, Paul George not in the lineup, messing with my Thunder play. I mean, the total looks nice without George in the lineup. I got 240 and a half. It's not down to 238. But I got the Thunder at -7 like a chump. Very, very, very upsetting. But Ski Profit will be here to fix everything. And in hockey, it's pretty much status quo. There's been some major line moves. I'm going to quickly let you know what I'm on. We're going to get through it very fast and then move right on. Jay Peach says Spurs Pistons under 227. Play of the day. Snooze Fest was never in question. Today's play of the day, Pacers under 220. Oh, I like that, Jay Peach. I'm going to copy and paste that and bring that up when we have our man Ski Profit in the house. Drew Daddy says, y'all are tweaking if you are still not tailing Angel Romero's soccer plays. Angel Romero is crushing it. And shout out to our man Drew Daddy, OG Wham in the house. Okay, great group. Let's quickly go over these NHL plays that I'm on and move on. I'm on the Islanders money line at -113. Johnny Tavares coming to New York in the visiting dressing room for the first time in his whole career. He was a captain on Long Island for 5 years, played there for 9 years. I'm also on the over 5.5 at -120. I had to bet it at my book at 6, but here on the show I got it at 5.5. I'm not jumping on the over in Flyers Jackets, although I can understand it. Let me take one last look at what that over is. I get why people are on it. It makes sense, but I don't. I have also taken the Vegas Florida over, which is the first over 6.5, or one of the, I think I've done it 3 times all year. Yeah, it's not, money's come on, or actually, no, it's gone to the under. Wow, the under opened at +109, now it's -109. The market moving against it. I'm not going to add it in. Martin Silva says Sparks and Nets should help with the over. I agree completely. And lean to the over, but it's 6.5 now. I guess you're talking about this Flyers Jacket spot, and I agree. You don't mean the Islanders Leafs? No, that's 5.5 almost across the board. 6 at Bookmaker, 6 at Heritage, 6 at Bet365. Corey Mack, shout out to Angel Romero, says already up 1 unit day. Thanks, Paul. Got a few hoops plays. Follow me back. Definitely follow Corey Mack. He's been hitting winners and winners. Great parlay yesterday. Shout out to you, Corey Mack. Okay, I'm on the Bruins money line at -116. I'm on the Oilers -1.5 at +187. And as the day moved on, I still love that spot. But I do think the Coyotes -1.5 is my favorite play on the card. I can understand. Alan actually says, going against you, Jimmy, I'm on Maple Leafs money line. Hey, if the Maple Leafs win, I'll hit the over. That's how I kind of see this game breaking down. Shout out to Natalie in our chat. What a treat it is to have her in our chat. Jose Villegas says, Vegas puck line, Jimmy Knights about to go on a run. They may go on a run. I also think they're going to score some goals, and I think the Florida Panthers team is undervalued, so I'm not going to go up against them here. But Coyotes minus 1.5 is probably my favorite play on this whole card. And then finally, I'm on the over 6 in Panthers Knights. Again, I'm line shopping on SBR odds on the show. I get a minus 110, but I had to bet it at 6.5 at plus 110. And that didn't make me feel very comfortable. Mr. Goxer says, Bruins with you, Jimmy. Love the over in Edmonton, Ottawa. So that's what's up. That's what's up. That's the NHL card. We have no more time to spend on it. We have got to move right now to UFC, and we have our UFC specialist, my man Clint, otherwise known as Anna Merrick, in the house. Anna Merrick, how you doing, my man?
Doing good, Jimmy. Doing good. How are you, man? One more thing on hockey. Let's go.
No, man, we don't have time. What we need is as much time as possible for you to break down this UFC card. We're going to be cutting this video out and putting it on YouTube. I want as much time. I want you to relax. I know that you got a lot of plays. I want to focus on you, my friend. But I'm on your Coyotes minus 1.5. I hope you like that. Hope you like that stuff. Let's quickly, now we got to keep a brisk pace here. As my man Lodos Loshak would say, my partner Lodos Loshak, who is not here with us today, but will be back sitting beside me soon. I tell you, I will be staring into Lodos' mustache in no time. All you guys, fearmongers, who think something horrifying, but let's get back to UFC. Okay. Anna Merrick, I know that you've got some looks on this undercard. And there's some interesting spots here. You got Steven Zabit. Stevens at plus 200. Serkinov, Walker. Serkinov at plus 135. That's at Heritage. Stevens plus 200 is at Pinnacle. And Sanchez versus Gall on the undercard. What are you thinking? And can we get through? We'll break down the bigger fights longer, but what are you thinking on this undercard?
So the undercard is fantastic. This entire card is stacked top to bottom. This is going to set the bar for 2019. There's some live dogs on this card. Well, first and foremost, I'm going to start with Diego Nightmare Sanchez. He's one of my favorite plays on the entire card. I locked him up at plus 265. He's been bet all the way down to right around plus 200 right now, and I think there's still plenty of value for him there. He's just the more well-rounded fighter. He really doesn't have a chin, but Mickey Gall is a hype train. He's completely untested, and I think Diego stands a really good shot of straight up winning this fight. I also like Zabit Magomed Desharipov. He's fighting Jeremy Stevens, and Jeremy Stevens is another fighter I'm a huge fan of, but I think he's just weathered here. Zabit is going to have the range advantage. He's going to stay outside. He's going to pepper him with shots, land the takedown if he needs to. I see him coasting to a pretty easy decision here, and I'm actually going to parlay Zabit with another fighter that's on the main card. And then, you know what? I just love Johnny Walker. Yeah, ladies, if you're out there thinking about tuning into some UFC, watch Johnny Walker. You can thank me later for that. His old walkout before he got to the UFC was a stripper routine where he would like rip his clothes off as he was headed to the cage. He's got abs for days. You're going to love this guy. And for the guys, he knocks people out stiff. So we're going to roll with him as well.
Nice looking undercard. So you're going with the dog Sanchez at plus 200. You're taking Zabit. He's minus 229 at Pinnacle, and you're parlaying him with a favorite, and you're also liking Johnny Walker at minus 155 at Heritage. And please, now, just before we go into the main card, can you please let the LoBaggers know how much you smashed this last UFC weekend, and then we'll get into the main card?
So I crushed the last UFC weekend going 5-2 for plus 3.84 units. Jimmy, I am undefeated in 2019. I have yet to lose an event. I am 7-0. My record is 23-11 for plus 21.47 units.
Perfect. I love hearing that. We need winners. Let's go. Let's start breaking down this main card. You pick the fight. Let's break it down. I got the odds here at different books, so let's start rolling. What fight do you want to start with?
All right. So I think I'm just going to go in order. We'll go top to bottom for the fans. That's going to be how the fights goes. It kicks off with Cody Garbrandt and Pedro Munoz. This is an interesting fight here because Cody Garbrandt is coming off back-to-back losses with TJ Dillashaw, and people are having serious questions about him. He is the favorite in this case, but everyone is worried about his chin. Everyone's worried about his motivation. Maybe TJ broke him. Everyone is forgetting just how dominant he was getting himself to the title and the performance that he put on against Cruz when he actually took the belt. He could have ended that fight at any minute, but he chose to stand and back up and actually toyed with the current champion and took it to a 5-round decision because he wanted to. I don't think Munoz has got anything for him. I think Garbrandt's going to come out and really remind us why he was the champion and how he got to that point in his career. And I think TJ's just that paper, rock, scissors guy that he can't quite overcome because their styles don't mix. I'm going to take Garbrandt inside the distance or by KO, whichever line you can get the better one on, but I should get right around plus 150 for it.
I love that look because just to take him to win is minus 147 at Pinnacle, but inside the distance or KO looking at a plus 150. Garbrandt to start off this main card. Next up, I believe, is Torres Zhang. Is that right?
That's correct. We've got Tisha Torres and Weili Zhang. Weili Zhang is this phenomenal lady coming out of China. And Chinese MMA is really on the rise lately. We've got a couple young up-and-coming stars. This is a real test for her. Tisha Torres really has only lost to some of the biggest names in her division. She's 10-3. Weili Zhang, on the other hand, is 18-1. She has a phenomenal record, and this girl is in crazy shape. I think she's going to pass this test with flying colors. I don't see the only way that Tisha Torres can beat her is by grinding out a real close split decision. I do think this one potentially goes to decision, but of the two, Zhang is the one who has the ability to finish this fight. So I'm all over Zhang. I got her at, I want to say, minus 140.
Wow. Minus 140. Right now at Pinnacle, you can get her at minus 121. So that's Garbrandt and Zhang to start off this card. Let's move on to Lawler versus Askren. Lawler a plus 235 dog at Heritage. Askren minus 271. Big favorite. You see why he's a favorite?
I absolutely see why he's a favorite. And you guys know me. Everyone here knows I love to roll the dice on my big underdogs. Robbie Lawler is a legend, but he's a shell of himself. He may have been one of the drug doping USADA victims, that basically he was taking some stuff, and then when USADA came in and cleaned the sport up, he's suffered a little bit since then. And he really doesn't have the takedown defense that he used to. He's also coming off of a 2-year layoff where he's had multiple knee surgeries, and that's going to stop your ability, or that's going to mess with your ability to stop a takedown as well. Ben Askren, all he does is go for the takedown. He's a pure wrestler, and if he gets on top of you for long enough, he'll beat you into submission from there. And while Robbie Lawler's a tough guy, I don't think he's going to be able to stop the wrestling of Askren. We're going to close out our parlay. It's going to be Askren with Zabit Magomed Desharipov, and that'll be our parlay for just under even money.
Askren Zabit. I like that a lot. That is the parlay. Askren Zabit. Writing that down right now. Now let's move into a very, very exciting fight. Woodley versus Usman. Woodley at minus 160. I'm looking forward to watch Woodley fight this weekend. Will you be backing him?
Absolutely. Woodley is the most underrated champion in the UFC. The dude's absolutely incredible, and he's hot on GSP's heels for being the greatest 170-pounder of all time. He's incredibly smart. He finds the holes in his opponent's game, and then he exploits it until they can't take it anymore. That's how he beats everybody. So Kamaru Usman is coming in, and he's a heavy wrestler. He's got improving striking. He's very athletic. He's going to have the size advantage, but I really don't think that matters here. Wrestling is Woodley's bread and butter. That's how he started in mixed martial arts, and he was a D1 All-American wrestler. Usman is a D2 All-American wrestler. And they're both very elite, but Woodley gets the edge there in this case. Striking, Woodley definitely has the edge. Raw power, maybe Usman has the edge, but the technique goes to Woodley, and I just don't see Usman ever catching Woodley in a way that's going to hurt him. I think Woodley dominates this fight. I think he's going to catch Usman coming in for a takedown and put him away in the second round. I've got Tyron Woodley inside the distance, and the best part about this is the world is on Kamaru Usman. Everyone thinks he's a live dog in this case. Everyone's disrespecting Woodley, and that line is plummeting. We're going to get about plus 160 on Woodley inside the distance at this point.
I get it. I get why you'd be backing Woodley. Very interesting stuff I will go over all of my man Anna Merrick's plays. We have one final fight, the main event to talk about. John Jones versus Anthony Smith. What are you thinking here?
You know what? I'm just going to sit back and relax. The co-main event is my main event. I don't have a bet on John Jones versus Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith shouldn't be in this position. He's not a live dog. I love my big underdogs, and I'm not even going to take a poke at him because this is ridiculous. John Jones is the greatest fighter that we have ever seen, and Anthony Smith beat two washed-up, near-retirement fighters, and they threw him into a title shot for two reasons. One, because John Jones wants to be more active now that he's back. And number two, because the list of contenders at 205 is so short right now, they needed somebody to get in there to allow John to work. Anthony Smith doesn't go to decision. He's got a ridiculously large record. He is 31, 13, and 0. Of those fights, he's been to decision 3 times. And this is his first 5-round fight. The only thing that I can say is if you're a whale and you've got all that money, you've got a pile of money you sleep on at night, I would lay the minus 700 that this fight doesn't go the distance. That way, whoever finishes it, you don't have to sweat it. But I'm staying off this fight. It's a complete pass, but I expect John Jones to get it done in round 1 or 2.
Absolutely incredible breakdowns. You kept that brisk pace that we needed. This is a packed show. My man, Anna Merrick, his big dog of the card is on the undercard at Sanchez at plus 200. Then he's got Walker and Zabit. He's parlaying Zabit. So Walker minus 155, Zabit at minus 229. He's parlaying Zabit with your man Askren. That's going to give you even money. The Askren Zabit parlay. Then he's on Garbrandt at minus 147. And he's on Woodley inside the distance, giving him a plus 150. And excuse me, Garbrandt is a minus 147 for the win. But my man's taking him whatever the best line he can find inside the distance or KO for Garbrandt. Absolutely great breakdown, Anna Merrick. Where can we find you on Twitter? I know you got a podcast popping off that's very exciting. Please tell us about that.
I launched the Die Hard MMA podcast since I started doing this stuff. We're on episode 4. You can find that on iTunes. I posted up to YouTube. I've got a Twitter handle for it at MMA_hard. If you want me with all of my other random stuff I talk about, that's for my MMA specific stuff. You can follow me at Maximus in 3D. You'll get all my nerdy retweets and stuff like that because I am a geek and into video games and stuff like that there.
I love you, Anna Merrick. You've been a LoBag fam since the very beginning. Thank you so much for your breakdown, putting money in LoBaggers' pockets. Thank you so much for joining us. We got to pop right in now and bring Ski Profit in here. We got to keep a brisk pace, as my man Lodos Loshak would say. Ski Profit, how you doing, my man?
What's going on, Jimmy? I'm glad to be breaking out in this car with you. I may actually need your help because it's too many games that I like.
Oh, good. I like the sounds of that. We are coming off a perfect day. A perfect day 2 days ago, Ski. Perfect. And I need it now badly. But I don't want to put pressure on you. Let me quickly tell you the plays that I'm on in NBA. And some guys are asking about the NHL card I'm on. I'll go over it one more time. I'm on the Islanders minus 1.5, over 5.5 in Leafs Islanders. I'm on the Bruins money line at minus 116. I'm on the Oilers minus 1.5 at plus 187. I'm on the Coyotes minus 1.5 at plus 187. And I beat those line moves, especially the Coyotes line move. And I'm on the over 6, but I had to bet it at 6.5 in my book. Panthers Knights, I got over 6 line shopping. And earlier, my play of the NHL card was to take both the Oilers and the Coyotes at minus 1.5. But I'm starting to like the Coyotes best. Okay, Ski, my man, let me tell you, I've only made one play, and it kind of blew up in my face with Paul George being out. So we don't need to start with this game. I want to hear what you're thinking. But I'm on the under 240.5 in OKC. And unfortunately, OKC 6. Unfortunately, I'm also on OKC in minus 7. That blew up in my face. What are the spots you're looking at? I'm ready to jump on some more action.
Well, the first one that catches my eye is going to be Indiana. Indiana versus Minnesota. We already know Minnesota's not a great road team. They're 9-22 on the road, straight up. Indiana's 23-8 at home. I believe both of these teams are coming off a back-to-back. Indiana's 8-3 on the second of a back-to-back, straight up and against the spread. The under is 22-9 at home for Indiana. They're 6-3 against the spread the last 9. I'm liking Indiana. I know Minnesota has to make that playoff push. Karl Anthony Towns has been balling. But I don't think they ball so much on the road. I'm thinking I like Indiana minus the 3 points here. What you think, Jimmy?
You know, I don't want this to get in the way, but I lost $150. Excuse me. It was the Nets that I doubled. I'm coming off a 1-4 day in NBA. I doubled up on the Nets. I shat all over the Mavericks yesterday, and they played pretty good. So I don't want my loss on the Pacers yesterday to get in the way of today. Now, Pacers are 6-0 on the second half of back-to-backs at home. Mavericks are 0-6. Or excuse me, Mavericks. The Timberwolves are 0-6 on the second half of back-to-backs on the road. Yeah, I don't trust this Timberwolves team, but Karl Anthony Towns is playing out of his mind. And I watched the Pacers yesterday. If Bogdanovich is not hitting buckets, they don't have a go-to scorer. Wesley Matthews is not the guy. I'm very timid. A lot of trepidation on this. Dan Kelly says, I did my research, and I'm on the Minnesota Timberwolves money line. 49ers for Life says, how about the under in that game, Ski? I'm going to bring up the market moves, but after what I saw yesterday, and with no Sabonis in the lineup, I can't back the Pacers here.
Okay, I'll pass for now, but I'll give a few quick stats based on what you said. For the under, it's 22-9 at home for Indiana and under 9 of the last 13. And as far as Minnesota, we talked about them on the road. They're 1-6 straight up their last 7 road games. The only win is versus the Knicks.
I hear it. Christopher Comentini says no Sabonis or Evans. Hell no. I'm telling you, I don't care about Tyreek Evans. He's been terrible all season. But I do care about Sabonis.
Sabonis is big, though.
I do care about Sabonis, and I just can't jump on. I just can't jump on. The under is appealing, but I've been way off on Timberwolves unders so far this year. Let's move on to another spot you're looking at.
Okay. The next one, I honestly, Jimmy, I like all of these games. I just have to pick one, except for the Miami game. But in this Golden State and Orlando game, I'm looking to back Orlando. If I'm making a play, I mean, no Iggy, no KD. I don't really like backing Golden State when they're missing Iguodala. And they're 1-7 against the spread their last 8. When the spread is -8 to -5, they're 4-8-1. They're 2-5-1, the second of a back-to-back. And for the Magic, when you look at their stats, I capped it originally when the spread was +5 to +8, and they're 11-4 in that scenario. They're 6-2 against the spread the last 8. If I look at the last 5 game stats, Orlando's winning everything. Offensive rating, they're 5th. Defensive rating, they're 2nd. Rebounding, they're 4th. I like Orlando to win this game. I wish I would get more than +150, and I would be on it.
You know, taking Orlando on the money line is appealing. What about the Magic we did 2 days ago with this Magic squad early? We were all over them first quarter. King Rail's all over them first half. Do you like them early in this spot and for a bounce back after that disgrace at MSG?
You know what? I know that they're great as a first quarter and first half team. I'm not quite sure where the Warriors are. If somebody from the chat maybe could update me how the Warriors are in the first half. If the Warriors are not good, then yeah, your spot is to go early. If it's about even, I would just like Orlando throughout the whole game.
King Rail says take Golden State with spreads under 6.5. D Dragon says Golden State is a second half team. They're not doing so good first halves lately. Ross Radamas says Dubs don't care about regular season. Sorry, what were you saying, Ski?
You said Karl Anthony Towns is playing out of his mind. Steph Curry is too. I think it's in the second half of back-to-backs, he shines. He averages like 33.4 points.
You know, Scotty Rock says Magic first half is the play, and I like that too. Mark Jones says Golden State Washington 12-1 straight up against losing teams, but 4-8-1 against the spread. Nick Schweska saying Orlando plus 170 and Bovada, bada boom 165 on you wager.
Golden State is also just a half game ahead of Denver. So they want to stay in the first spot. That could be something too.
You know, this game concerns me. Robbie Tagaloa liking the under here. I just feel a little lost without Durant. And, you know, Golden State visit Park Lawn, visit the Marjorie Stoneman school where the attack happened. And that affected them in a lot of different ways, I think, yesterday, emotionally and on the court. That's not exactly where you want to be before a big game. I just feel like I feel a little lost in this game. I'm a little uncomfortable. Overzealous Cap says going to get vintage Steph tonight.
I don't want to make a move on this one, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to make a move on it as well. Let's look at another spot you're looking at.
So the Cleveland and New York, I kind of like this one a lot the more I look at it. Last 5 games, pace 28th and 20th, defensive rating 9th and 15th, offensive rating 17th and 14th. We already know New York at home, it's been nothing but unders. 9 out of the last 11 at home have been unders. I'm thinking it's a slow-paced game. You have, Tristan Thompson's out. I'm reading these players, but I'm just thinking it's a slower-paced game. We're not going to see too much offense, and it stays under the total.
This total has skyrocketed. I mean,
I don't see why.
And not Sky. I mean, at Bet Online was the first to the market. They said at 213. I mean, Pinnacle waited. They said it at 217. And I just don't feel comfortable going against those kind of market moves. It just scares me. And then even the Knicks opening at 3.5, now down to 2, is confusing. I came close to taking the Knicks as a side earlier today. And Farshad Asami saying Cavs over all day. Man.
Yeah, they've been going over 4 of their last 5, but those have all been at home. I think when they play away, it might be a little different.
If I gave you a free play to take a side, who would you take? Cleveland at New York with a 2-point spread?
New York.
Same here. I would take New York. But why is the total going against? Why is the line going against us? It's just hard to figure out. I still might make a move on New York after everything. After everything we've talked about, I still feel like they're the spot. Dan Kelly says, I haven't done any work on Cleveland, New York yet, but it's all about who will be trying for Zion better. But remember, the bottom 3 teams all get 14% chance. There's no benefit coming last or third last. Okay, I might make a move on New York. What else are you looking at?
As far as on your OKC and Philadelphia under, I tend to agree with it. I mean, you don't have Paul George, you don't have Embiid. Philly looks they score a lot less points without Embiid. And I mean, you're going to miss points from Paul George too, and the total didn't even move so much. I kind of just look at it from that point. OKC's went under 5 of the last 7. I just think after that point, when OKC had them consecutive overs, it became overvalued. 240, 239, no Embiid, no Paul George. It sounds like an under game to me.
I was saying
under 8 of the last 11 for Philly as well.
I was saying on the early show that the Sixers are going to have to hit 48. Or I said if they hit 35 or 36%, this game's going way under. But they would have to hit 48% from 3 to even come close to hitting this over. Because I'm telling you what, Bolden in the paint against Steven Adams is going to get torched. I mean, there's going to be no room. And if I break down Bolden and Amir Johnson, Steven Adams is going to destroy them. They're going to have no. They're not going to do anything. I like the under at 239. I think the under makes sense at 239.
You know what? I like this spot a lot. I think this may be the one I'm going to take. I want to break down the other game first, but I know Philadelphia is holding opponents at 31% 3-point percentage, and OKC shoots a lot of threes.
Yeah. I like this. This is the best look on the card to me. I still like it at 239. I got it at 240.5. I'm very interested to hear you talk about the Jazz at Nuggets. We know there's going to be no Rubio. That changed the pace up dramatically. We're going to see Donovan at the 1 at times. He'll be on the ball. He'll be off the ball. What are you thinking here, Utah at Denver?
You nailed it, Jimmy. Changes the pace up dramatically. And when I was looking at this game initially, I was looking towards the over. This went over 7 of the last 10 for Utah, over 8 of the last 11 at home for Denver. The last time they met, it went over, but the total was 216, not 225. And you mentioned Rubio's out. They don't have Neto. They're missing their point guard. So the last time when Rubio was out, I had to think. I thought about this when you were talking in the beginning of the show and actually broke this down myself. I checked the games when he didn't play, all low scoring, minus the Clippers. 106-93, 113-95, 110-102, 100-94. All low-scoring games. When they don't have their point guard, the offense is going to suffer. And Denver, their number one defensive rating. I mean, we expect Denver to play well at home. We talked about it the last time on Tuesday. They're about the best home team in the NBA. So I'm flipping it. I like the under. No point guard for Utah. Denver's defense. I'm gonna make a play on this game under 224. I think that's the number I get.
You can get 225 at some books. That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean,
And I want to say one more thing, Jimmy, on the spread, if that's okay.
yeah, please do.
It seems like it's too many points. I mean, all those games when they didn't have a point guard, they won every single one of them. And when the spread is -8.5 to -5.5, Denver's 3-5. I'm just thinking it's too many points. Utah 5-1 against the spread last 6. It seems like a Jazz and under.
It does. We know that there's no Exum. We know that there's no Raul Neto. I mean, we were just in this situation. where Donovan Mitchell had to have the ball in his hands the whole time. Corey Mack says Jazz steal this game. Maybe they do. I'm not going to take the Nuggets here at -7. Although, if I was forced to make a play on the side, that's what I'd do. But I like what you're seeing here. I like the under here. This is going to be my only other play on this card other than the first two. I just feel a little uncomfortable with the Durant and no Iggy and Golden State coming off a loss and coming off an emotional day. And Orlando after that embarrassment. Minnesota, Indiana, 2 teams, as Dan Kelly put it, on the 5th game of 7 nights. Now, he's researched it long enough to go with Minnesota. I feel like that's the spot. I feel like the under's the spot. Let's see. Marshall Purdue says Jazz have failed to score 100 in their last 5 trips to Denver. Sacktown King says take Denver first half. Joy Jack says Nuggets money at home. Ricardo Gutierrez says tough spot. I'm going to jump on it. I'm going to jump on the under right now with you. Let's see what I get. I'm going to check out what you get. And do you want to just briefly, we've got to get to Max and break down this college card, but do you want to just briefly talk about your feel? I know that you didn't want to make a play on it, but on Miami-Houston, what you're thinking?
On that game, I would like it more if Whiteside was playing. But from everything I'm looking at, it kind of looks like Miami is the play. We already know Miami's better on the road than they are at home. They're 13-7 as a road dog, 14-8 versus 55% win teams or greater. The over is 5-2-1 in the second of a back-to-back over 4 of the last 5 games. Houston, on the other hand, when the spread is -11 to -8, they're 2-6. They're 1-3-1 against the spread last 5. Whiteside didn't play when they played Golden State, and they won. So if I'm making a play on this game, I would take the 9.5 points with Miami. And Jimmy, we're making unders great again. Shout out to Noli Knows. I'm on that OKC under and Denver under.
Oh, man. I can't laugh because I haven't laughed in 7 weeks, really. My lung just collapses every time I laugh. That's what made LA very hard not laughing. You're right. Shout out to Noli Knows, making unders great again. This all makes sense to me. Even Miami plus the points makes sense to me. But I'm going to have to sit on it for a while. I think you're right. Fareed not in the lineup. And Olnick was being benched a second ago. Now him and Bam are going to have to play big minutes. These guys got to feel good about themselves after that game. I just worry if it's a letdown
one last
spot.
question, Jimmy? You're big on line movement, last-minute line movement. The spread went down to 2.5 for Indiana at Bookmaker. Jumped right back up to 3. Does that make you like Indiana anymore?
No, I feel like it's so much more difficult to cap 2 tired teams. I just 2 teams coming off of losses that shouldn't have happened. It makes me extremely uncomfortable. Shout out to Jewish Sex Learner.
Well, I will stay off of that spot with you.
I'm just going to stay off of it. But Tasha Mayu says 9.5, take the points. SM says Miami plus 9.5. I feel like they can keep this game close, and it's too many points. And I hope I don't have a recency and vividness bias of what Dwayne Wade did yesterday. but I'm jumping on Miami right now at plus 9.5. A plus 9.5, I'm getting plus 100 at BetOnline. And this will be my final spot on this card. I will take the 9.5 at plus 100. I just feel like it's too many points. And I just watched a Rockets team with Fareed look bad against the Atlanta Hawks. You know, they won by 8, but, I mean, Trae Young was playing out of his mind. I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to jump on those plays. So I'm already on the Thunder under. Skis just jumped on it. I'm on the Thunder -7. That looks to be a loss at this point. I'm jumping on the Heat plus 9.5, and I'm jumping on the under in the Jazz Nuggets, thanks to the breakdowns of my man, Ski Profit. Ski, great breakdown. I love having you on the show. We got to move on to Max. Where can we find you on Twitter, and what are you up to?
Yeah, find me on Twitter, @SkiProfit. Hit me up. I'm friendly. If you have any questions, I'll answer if I have the time. Thanks for having me, Jimmy. I love breaking it down with you, and good luck to everybody.
Oh, what a great guy. Shout out to my man, Ski Profit, who we have every Tuesday and Thursday right here on Low Shack in the Bag. My guy, Ski Profit. Maxwell Smart, we got to get going. We got to get rolling. We got to keep such a brisk pace here. I'm so happy to have you. First off, how you doing? And then let's get into this card.
I'm doing all right. Let's just get into the capping and save the boasting for later. Let's just get into the capping right now and save the boasting for later when we're winning.
I like the sounds of that. I need a big winning night. King knew about business. Said, Jimmy, your 2 puck lines are Oilers -1.5, Coyotes -1.5. I like that very, very much. I say split a unit in half. Okay, let's get to work. First off, I'm going to go over Babano's plays. Also, Babano had a lean towards a Nebraska-Michigan under. That Nebraska-Michigan under has dropped fast. Could have got at 130.5 or even 131 on the morning show. Now it's around 127.5 or something like that. Babano was on Tennessee Martin plus 11, Northeastern -4.5, Oregon State -4.5. I jumped on that Oregon State. Matt Randall's taint play of the day, Samford +5. The plays that I jumped on, sorry, let me get to them right now. Where the hell are they? Noli knows his unders were Gonzaga Pacific under 144.5. I jumped on that. I got 143 line shopping, 142.5 at my book. He's also on the Washington, California under 136. My plays are Oregon State -4.5, Gonzaga Pacific under 143, Hampton money line -110, and Northern Colorado -5. That's what I'm on right now. Max, let's get to work. Max has picked out a bunch of games he wants to talk about. Then we're going to get your questions, and we're going to start rolling real fast. Sorry that we've taken so long to get Maxwell on. Let's start with your game, Northeastern at Delaware. Open Northeastern -5, now -4.5. We know that Babano is on them. Total open at 140, it's dropped down to 136. Max, Northeastern at Delaware.
Yeah, this is the 10-6 team, ATS in conference. Northeastern has revenge against this team. I don't think Theo Horton's going off for 26 points again. I think that the 3-point defense will be effective for Northeastern at 28%. They're going to hit their free throws, and they're going to limit fouling. I understand that both teams are 3-point oriented, and Delaware's definitely played a lot better at home. I'm simply going with Northeastern here. I'm going to get a 4 and buy down.
Buying down to 4. Max starting off with Northeastern. Max, I know you've got a bunch of games you've picked, but one game pops off in 20 minutes. Xavier at St. John's. St. John's dealing with injury issues. They open at -6. They're down to -4. Do you have any feel on this spot? Are you making a move here?
Yeah, I think that St. John's is going to be okay when it comes to their injuries. They have depth, and they have guys that were last year that know the system and can step into the role that Mustafa Heron will be vacating tonight. But I think that you really just got to depend on what you're going to get from this Xavier team. Coming off that Villanova win, can you really trust to take them on the spread tonight or even take them on the money line? I can't tonight. The only way I'd be looking to play this game is the over. I do not have a bet currently on it. I'm only on the St. Francis and the Sacred Heart games right now.
Okay, you're on. You already got a couple games live. That over has crept up, open at 142.5 at BetOnline. Now 144.5 there, but juice to the over at -116. Interesting stuff. You can still get a 143.5 if you wanted the over. Okay, great job, Max. Let's keep rolling. Hofstra at Drexel. Open Hofstra -7, stayed. Total open at 161. Now 158.5 or 158, Max. Hofstra at Drexel.
Yeah, Hofstra's coming off a really bad James Madison loss, and the fact is they are having questionable defense right now. 50% from the field, 38% from distance, and 44% of their shots are coming from three-point range. This is a team that was very hot ATS for us, but now they're only 9-7 ATS conference. The things that Hofstra's doing good is getting only committing 8 turnovers a game and getting on the offensive glass. That's good and everything, but versus this Drexel team with guys like Troy Hartford, Cameron Winter, and Alihan Demir, you're going to really have to be on your game. I think that I'm more looking to get on a total in this game. I want to jump on the first half over and leave the side alone. I personally would be leaning towards Drexel full game. This is a team that plays good 3-point defense, so that's going to stop a lot of what Pemberton does. They also hit 76% of their free throws, and they're only committing 10 turnovers a game, and they're 11-5 ATS. So I would be leaning Drexel full game, but I'm going to just stick with the over in the first half for now.
First half over right now, going against the market move. Couple of notes from the chat here. We have my man Guillermo Zertuch says Louisiana Tech, easy money at home, 8-0 against the spread at home. Marshall 1-9 against the spread on the road. Raven in the Desert on under in St. John's. Mikey D on Xavier. Scotty Rock Forever on Xavier plus 4.5. First half UCLA minus 1.5. First half San Diego plus 3.5. Gonzaga minus 22. St. Mary's minus 12 first half, and Sacktown King is on the Zags big first half and full game. We're going to get to that game because Max was all over Zags earlier in the year, doubling up first half, full game, and he's gotten off of it. But let's talk about the other games right now that are popping off early. Let's go with UConn at Wichita State. UConn's your boys. Wichita State opens at minus 4.5, now minus 5.5. Total opens up at 143.5, and now you can get it anywhere from 137.5 up to 139. Max, UConn at Wichita State.
Yeah, listen, Wichita State should win this game pretty handedly. UConn is winless on the road this year, so I'm definitely not looking at backing my boys on the money line. It would make me look stupid if they ended up winning tonight. But I think that Marcus McDuffie needs to have a good game, and Dexter Dennis needs to give some support. I think that the problem for Wichita the first time was they didn't guard the 3-point line very well. And they just got to freaking hit their free throws and limit fouling. They got to limit the unforced mistakes because this team likes to make some pretty dumbass mistakes. On paper, Wichita should beat UConn pretty badly. I don't think that they're going to beat them that bad, but I do think that it's worth a look to back them on the first half, if not full game.
Interesting. Staying away from your boys. And what spot do you like? And do you see the total moving down to 137.5 to 139? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense because this is a changing UConn offense. Without Jalen Adamson, you see a lot more effort, not necessarily a lot better results. So I'm not expecting Josh Carlton or Tyler Poley to really go off tonight. Those are the guys that really need to step up to get this to become more of UConn type offense. But against Wichita State on the road and the fact that they haven't won yet on the road, I can't go on it.
Are you making a move on this game or are they just leans?
No, this is just a lead.
Okay, let's move on to a spot that I jumped on earlier in the day. Texas State at Troy. Texas State opened at -5, now -5.5. Total open at 133.5. It's basically still there. Pretty much 133s now. Texas State at Troy, Max.
Yeah, so this is a pretty easy spot for me. I got on Texas State because Jordan Bernardo not only has a concussion, he's also been suspended. So now it becomes the Alex Hicks show. Alex Hicks was Jordan Bernardo's twin tower, but doesn't have the offensive pedigree. This is a Troy team that's 3-10 ATS in conference and 2-9 at home ATS. I think Texas State's going to be able to play their 27% three-point defense against Troy, who's a little more reliant on the three-point shot. Texas State has magically and miraculously been hitting free throws lately, so I hope that continues. And I think that Nigel Peterson's going to get on the ball. He's going to force some steals. And I think that Texas State's going to avoid unnecessary and bonehead moves, and they're going to be able to cover this number. So I took Texas State. I actually like the over also in this game.
You also are backing the over, but you're on Texas State with me. That gives me a nice sigh of relief. Jake Vandergallion says, Jimmy, how do you see the line movements? Man, go to Sportsbook Review, SBR Odds. You click on this little box that shows an angle going up, and you get to see every single movement that book's made on that game. Total line spread. It should be open all day during your capping. Extremely important stuff. Okay, interesting stuff. We're both on Texas State. That makes me feel very, very good. Now, Farley Dickinson and Mount St. Mary's. FDU opens at -3, now -3.5 or -4s. Total open at 144.5 and stayed. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, you know that I got a lot of love for FDU. I love the roster that they got there. And Mike Holloway Jr., he's been on a fucking tear the last couple games. He got recognized for his performance with the Player of the Week award. But I think that you really got to take note of the fact that this line is kind of low. I would not have expected it the way that FDU dispatched Mount St. Mary on their gym, and now you're seeing them only as a 3.5-point favorite. Naturally, I'm leaning towards taking FDU, but I think that I may have to turn on a dime tonight and go against my better instincts, because you got to remember what this Mount St. Mary's team is. Jalen Gibbs is a transfer from Drake. He turned his 3.3 freshman average into 13.5 points this year. Vado Morse is a very nice freshman. He seems to be able to get to 20 points every game, whether the team's having a good game or bad game. So judge that how you may. The biggest issue for him is just limiting turnovers. And this team is winning with very good perimeter defense. They can play 31% three-point defense, 39% from the field. They're shooting 72% from the line, so I can put a little bit of trust in them to hit free throws at the end, or at least the two guys that I mentioned. But of course, the problem with all that being said, after you shooting 52% from the field and 48% from three, I got to go with FTU. I'm on FTU tonight. Give me the -3.5.
I find that extremely appealing and may make a move with you. Sean Paula says, who is winning the Fountain of Youth? I know a lot of cappers who don't take favorites ever, and they're on Hidden Scroll, the favorite at 9-5. I need to cap that race a little bit longer. Very interesting stuff. David Hutton says, Jimmy, are we going to have a special tournament edition with Max? God knows I'm going to need help with my bracket. We have huge news that we're going to announce that involves Max and Drew Martin, and Max and Drew Martin every single day doing a show together over the next March Madness. We're not announcing that yet, but we have very exciting news about that will be coming through. Okay, I like it. And I think I might make a move with you on FDU, but I'm going to do a little line shopping right now. Let's keep rolling. Bryant University at St. Francis, Brooklyn. Open St. Francis -8.5, now -8. Total open at 146. And it's now, you can get anywhere from 143 to 145. Max, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, these guys' rosters match up pretty well against each other. You got Sebastian Chowns going up against Jalen Jordan and Glenn Sanabria. I think it's going to be a battle of guards tonight, but I think that this Bryant team does enough. They do enough on offense. I think that they're going to be able to stay in this game and stay within the number. Listen, I've been wrong on Bryant on the road, but I've also made a bunch of units betting on them at home. So I think in this matchup particularly, with the only asterisk being St. Francis Brooklyn's aggressive defense, I think that they can stay in this number. I think that when you're shooting 43% from the field, 43% from three and 51% from the field, and you hit 70% of free throws. That's a road team that I can get on, and that's a road team that I can get on at 8 or 8.5 points. So I think that I'm just going to take Bryant tonight, and just probably plug my nose at it because I'm a little worried, but I'm going to trust it.
You backed Bryant last week with a win against the spread. I find that appealing too. I think they can stay in this game. I jumped on Farley Dickinson, and our friends at Bet Online are hanging a 3. Still hanging a 3. Everyone else is at 3.5 or 4, but -3 and -115 available at Bet Online. And I find Bryant appealing. Let's move on to Mercer at Virginia Military College. Open Mercer -5, stayed there all day. Total open at 153, now 151. Max, Mercer at VMI.
Okay, so this VMI team at home is 9-3 when the total is over 150 to the over. They're playing 51% field goal defense. They're allowing teams to shoot 38% from deep. Both these teams are going to combine for at least 35 to 45 field goal attempts, and they both average between 18 and 20 offensive boards combined a game. I think there's going to be a lot of three-point shot attempts courtesy of VMI, and I think that VMI is going to be able to force turnovers on Mercer and be able to score buckets on it. I trust that Mercer is going to not just have a shit three-point shooting game. I don't expect them to hit 10 like they did the first game, but I need Ross Cummings on point. Mercer does own this season series. And I think that Ethan Stair and Jalen Stowe are going to be very valuable against VMI's lineup that is very dependent on Bubba Parham. So in conclusion with all that, I'm going to take Mercer on my cheapo parlays, and I'm going to use VMI and Mercer, and I'm going to take the over in this game.
Also backing the over. Very interesting. I did jump at Bryant University at +8, -106. That was available at Pinnacle. It's already gone down to 7.5 at a couple books. And Max, going against the market move, and I've been using Bet Online as my openers just because they're first to the market, so they have to adjust accordingly. Going against that market move there. Interesting stuff, Max. Let's move on to Illinois, Chicago at Oakland. Open Oakland -3.5, stayed. Total open at 151, now 152. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, this is a game that I'm definitely really interested in betting on because Oakland has definitely found their defense, and it's actually resulted in them getting some nice wins, and they went on a really nice under streak. I think that you really got to shut down UIC on the three-point line. In the first game, they were able to shut them down, and they went 2 for 18. And they were also down 16 points at the half. So if Oakland could replicate that type of performance versus UIC tonight, I think that they won't have a lot of problems. You have a decent core of guys in Xavier Hill-Mays and Troy Maddox and Braden Norris and Javen Cumberland. You got guys that can score. You got guys that can shoot the three. You just have to worry about turnovers. And they're playing defense right now. So if you're gonna give me a team that is forcing 16 turnovers a game, I'm gonna have to get on it because it's not like they're getting these turnovers on charges or anything like that. They're forcing 8 steals a game. That's the type of aggressive guard play I need, and I think that I'm gonna get on Oakland and I'm gonna get on the under.
Getting on Oakland and jumping on the under. That's a great breakdown. That all sounds quite appealing. I'm going to keep that in mind. Let's keep rolling. Texas Rio Grande Valley at Chicago State. Opened TRGV -16, stayed. We know how bad Chicago State is, but is this too many points? Total opened at 141, now 140.5. Max, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm thinking that when UTRGV definitely score, they can definitely score against this defense, and I want to see them replicate it again tonight. When you watch them get jumped out to a 19-point first half lead the first time out, hitting 11 threes, 44% from the field, but 52% from the free throw line, I think that's something that's attractive to me. Plus being +7 on the offensive glass and forcing 22 turnovers, they know how to shut this team down. They shut them down from the three-point line, 1 for 11. I am worried that Chicago State is able to get a little bit off there. But this is just a University of Texas Rio Grande Valley team that I just like their defense. I think that it's going to be a contrast in styles tonight, but it's also going to be important for Rio Grande Valley to get their three-point shot on. This is a Chicago State team that's going to allow you to shoot 48% from deep. So the 26 or 27% they're shooting on the season just will not be good enough if you want to cover tonight. I think that they're going to be able to hit threes against this defense, and I think that they're going to cover the full game spread.
Cover the full game spread. That's TRGV. My man Sports Bet Bailey saying take Xavier first half plus 2.5. Headshot asking, can you just if in under 10 seconds, that game's popping off in 4 minutes. I know we've already touched on it, but some people joined late. That this big spot, Xavier at St. John's.
Yeah, basically, I think that St. John's is going to be fine without Mustafa Heron. I think that they played without guards before. In anything that I'm looking at this game, I'm looking at the over. I think that points are going to get scored. These are offenses that are going to be able to get their shots off against each other.
And while we were breaking that game down, or at least in the last 10 minutes, it's now moved from 4 to 4.5 for St. John's. The Johnnies now moved to 4.5. Okay, let's move on. Wright State at Green Bay. Open Wright State -4. There are a couple of -3.5s, but pretty much stayed. Total open at 151.5, up 2 points to 153.5. Wright State at Green Bay.
Yeah, it really sucks for Green Bay going up against probably the hottest team in the Horizon League. Wright State's been knocking people out and smacking them around, only allowing 62 points a game, winning with defense, shooting the ball fantastically, 50% from the field, 40% from three, and playing good three-point defense, which everyone knows I'm always harping on. This is a team that really has to be plus in the turnovers, and they have to share the ball and get to the line. The first game that shot a high field goal percentage, I don't think that they can be able to do that twice. I don't think they're going to be able to shut down Sandy Cohen twice. And I think that we're going to get a lot more of Manny Patterson instead of Cody Schwartz. Cody Schwartz played 17 minutes, put up a lot of shot attempts. I think when you get Manny Patterson on the floor, you got a lot more grit. You get a guy that's going to get on the floor for loose balls. I really like his game. So, and PJ Pipes was in foul trouble the whole time. So I think it's time for Wright State to get cooled down. And I think Green Bay is the team that's going to do it. So give me Green Bay +4.
Green Bay +4. You're going to not touch the money line in this spot?
No, I'm not. If it's on Bet365 live menu, then I'll play something live on the money line if someone gets up or down. But as far as just playing the game from a bet show perspective, I'm only taking the full game.
I get it. Shout out to Ricky Levine in the house. Ricky Levine, a capper who absolutely loves my partner, the legend Lodos Loshak. Ricky, I miss the man so much. We want him back so bad. Feel free to fill this chat with love for my man Lodos Loshak. Shout out to Ricky Levine joining us. I find that an appealing spot, but you know me, Max. I like the plus spots. Anything under 4, anything under 5 even. I kind of like grabbing the plus money line. I like it. Let's keep rolling. Northern Kentucky at Milwaukee. Open Northern Kentucky -8.5. Now -9 across the board. Total open at 145. Now 143.5 to 142.5. Northern Kentucky at Milwaukee.
Yeah, I like the over in this game. I think Northern Kentucky's going to score 80 points. I think they're going to get to the line enough. I think that they're going to own the defensive glass. We're going to see a good, brilliant Drew McDonald performance. He is a senior. He is graduating. This is one of his last regular season games. The regular season title is still up for grabs, so I do see Northern Kentucky having a lot of motivation for this game. And I think that we're going to see that. I think that they're going to contain Darius Roy. They've already shown that they can do that in the first game. And it does worry me spotting them 9 points, seeing that they lost to Cleveland State as a 15-point favorite outright in their last game and have been a little bit shaky. But I think that if you need to get right, just go to Milwaukee. You'll get right tonight. So give me Northern Kentucky -9 and give me the over. On my Northern Kentucky pick for -9, I'm only going to take half a unit.
Half a unit on the -9. Interesting. And I'm still looking at Green Bay right now. Let's keep going. We're going to get through. Max has 2 more games he wants to talk about. Then we'll talk about some of the big spots on the card. We'll talk about Gonzaga. Let's go Texas Arlington. UTA at South Alabama. Open South Alabama -1.5. Now -2.5. Total open at 130.5. It's gone up to 134, 135. Or sorry, 134, 134.5, Max. Texas Arlington at South Alabama.
Okay, so this is pretty simple. The way that I see this game going out, it comes down to free throws. South Alabama covers the spread, and it hits the over. This is a team that's 10-3 ATS in conference. They're 5-0 versus teams above 500. I like Josh Ajay And then I like Tari Mitchell. So I think that this is the type of team that's going to win on the offensive glass. They work hard for their bucket, and they're well coached. I think that they're a team on the rise, and I feel very confident jumping on this game 2 ways. So give me the spread and give me the over.
Taking the spread and the over. Wow. Okay. Also, Trenton Claxton, also on Northern Kentucky. I was thinking of making a move on that. Can you just repeat the main point on your side in Texas Arlington, South Alabama?
Yeah, my main point is that I think that free throws are going to be the difference, and South Alabama is going to be able to make them. I think that this is a team that doesn't necessarily win from a statistical perspective, but they win with grit. They win with smart play. And from an ATS perspective, they're a team that I have to ride because they're 10-3 ATS in conference. They're 5-0 ATS for teams above 500. And if you give me a team with Josta J and Trey Mitchell, I'll take the home team and I'll take the over.
I find both of those spots extremely appealing. Now, the final game Max wanted to talk about, Seattle at California Baptist. Open California Baptist -2, now 4, so 4.5. Total open to 140.5, now up to 143.5 for 144. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I think that now that Seattle's healthy, I think that we're going to be able to get some better offensive performances out of them. I think that both these teams hit a good amount of free throws. Cal Baptist hits 87%. Seattle hits 74%. Both get on the offensive glass, so I think that there will be some easy, cheap buckets with not a lot of clock. And I also figure that they're going to get sloppy at times, and that could lead to some easy bad fouls and getting in the bonus and getting on the fast break. Both aren't ball hawks, but they seem to make big mistakes. Both have some decent scorers. I'm going to highlight the fact that Miles Carter and Terrell Brown need to step it the fuck up. I don't want to see them committing 6 turnovers combined the first game. And it's just going to be about Seattle making the free throws and getting some revenge on the road. I don't know if they're going to get revenge on the road, but I'm definitely getting on the over. This is something that Robbie Tagaloa is on, and the godfather of volume, G-Unit Peterson. So I'm taking the over here with those two gents.
Do you feel like there's still value, even though it's moved 4 points at BetOnline?
Yeah, just because Seattle's 2-11 ATS in conference. I gave them a chance against Utah Valley, and they burned me, and I'm not going back on them. California Baptist may be new to D1, but they were a winning tradition and had a winning roster in D2 ball before they came here. So I would probably take Cal Baptist at home if I had to go on the side.
Wow, very exciting stuff. Still feels like we have something we can still work with this over. Okay, so I jumped on 2 plays. I jumped on Northern Kentucky -9 and -105. It's available at Heritage. I also jumped on South Alabama -2.5, -105. That's also available on Heritage. And I'm taking a look at that over right now in South Baptist Seattle. What is your LoBag play of the day?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Omaha tonight. I think that this Omaha team has definitely shown that they're not a doormat. They're improved. They're offensive. They're definitely going to have a test tonight in Oral Roberts, but I think that they have to go on the road, and I think that they have to find a way to win this game. And I think when they do that, I think that they're going to be able to cover by margin. So if you can give me 3.5 on Omaha, I'd be a happy duck, and I'd walk along on, and we can talk about the other games.
Omaha is your play of the day. Omaha play of the day. I'll have to look that up. Okay, I'm going to jump with you guys on Cal Baptist Seattle over. Over 143.5 and -110. Again, available at Heritage. Okay, we've got some people. Bud Nino says, Jimmy, you like the Vegas puck line. I'm a little concerned with how well Florida's playing. I also think that Dallas team that Vegas beat, they only beat them. They scored 3 goals last 5 minutes, so it wasn't like the 4-1 score didn't really show the game, and that was a game that Dallas didn't even have Ben or Zuccarello. So I'm a little uncomfortable. Matt Randall's play today, Sanford. Big guy Bubba. Okay, so we have a couple things here. Devo Lane says, ask Max about Weber versus North Carolina. I'm on North Carolina. What do you think on this spot? Or sorry, Northern Colorado. Excuse me. Sorry, going really fast here. I jumped on Northern Colorado. What do you think of that spot?
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about Northern Colorado and the spread coming off the Montana game. I would more be leaning towards the over in this game. I think that points are going to get scored. You have two premier scorers in the Big Sky going going head to head. So they may actually be assigned each other on defense. So this is going to be a very interesting game to watch. But I'm going to be looking towards the over more than a side in this game.
Looking more towards an over there. Sweet. Big guy Bubba wants to know what you think of the Chattanooga spot. We have a new team in the top 25. Are they going to how are the Terriers going to look here? What do you think of Wofford Chattanooga?
Yeah, listen, I've made some nice plays on Chattanooga so far this year. I personally think that this is a one or two too many points, and there's going to be a real tight cover if Wofford doesn't get it. I think that coming off the Furman win, you gotta expect some sort of letdown eventually from this team. I don't think they're gonna lose by any stretch. I don't think that they're gonna be in any risk to lose. But this Chattanooga team is stingy at home. Kevin Easley is a very nice player. I think that if you were to twist my arm and I was to make a play, I'd have to go with Chattanooga.
Backing Chattanooga there. A lot of people like that spot. A lot of people like Chattanooga. Shout out to Yanks guy. Yes, we did chat NHL. Sorry, we got to wrap up the show. Sadly, here. Interesting stuff. Cassius Thomas says Belmont or Murray State. We know that Babano already gave Tennessee Martin earlier. This is a very interesting card, and we just have too many games. Too many games. Shout out to Sportsbet Daily. I should have jumped with him. Xavier jumps out to a 13.5 lead. Man, I guess we have one more game. We'll let Jewish Sex Learner have one game. FAU versus Northern Texas. You've had a great read on Northern Texas this year, and I know they've been winning a lot of games, not covering. What do you think? Jewish Sex Learner loves FAU as a dog. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, definitely have to look at FAU in this spot. If you've been betting on Northern Texas on the spread, they've been burning your money recently, and they are having a blackout. So that does worry me, but I'd be more looking, if I had to make a play on this game, I would take North Texas on the first half, and then I take FAU full game. But the way that these guys have been covering spreads, it's something that I'm avoiding tonight.
I hear that. Twadi Latte liking Murray State -9. Mikey D liking the Bruins. I'm with the Bruins as well. And then finally, Nebraska, Michigan. What do you feel about this spot? I mean, big move towards the under. And money coming in on Michigan all day. They opened a plus 12.5. Now they're plus 10.5. This will be the final game we'll talk about. What are you thinking, Nebraska, Michigan, Max?
Yeah, I apologize. I actually avoided this game. This game just screams volatility at me. It screams like something bad's going to happen. I don't trust Michigan right now. If they couldn't beat Michigan State, they couldn't get up for that game. I can't trust them laying 12, 13 points, whatever the spread's at right now. I've actually not even looked at it. So,
well, absolutely great work, Maxwell Smart, my guy. Omaha -3 is the LoBag play of the day. I jumped on a lot of plays. I need a bounce back spot tonight. I'm on California Baptist, Seattle over 143.5. South Alabama -2.5 and -105. Northern Kentucky -9 and -105. Green Bay money line plus 155 at Bet Online. Bryant University +8 at -106. Farley Dickinson -3 at -115. And I've already tweeted out 4 plays, so we don't need to go over those again. Max, incredible job. Where can we find you on Twitter? And what else are you up to this week?
Yeah, you can find me at MaxwellSmart420 on Twitter. I'm going to be on King's Court in about 35 minutes, so you can obviously catch me there. I'm going to be breaking down some more games with Jay Money is Money. So obviously make sure you tune in to Jay Money is Money, because he is money and he will put it in your pocket just like he did last night. So make sure you're there.
Yeah, shout out to all the King's Court guys. Very excited to hear you're making an appearance. Thank you so much, Max. Thank you so much, Ski Profit. Thank you so much, Anna Merrick. Max, before we move on, could you please introduce none other than Freddie Fortune?
Of course, it would be a pleasure to introduce a friend of mine, a friend of yours, a friend of ours, Freddie Fortune.
What's going on, Freddie? You don't seem too excited to be here.
Today is not a good day.
Today is not a good day. Why is that?
No.
Why?
I made a mistake yesterday.
You made a mistake yesterday. Okay, this sounds interesting. What did you do? Who'd you bang? A man?
No, I wish. I took a lady, my lady, to the movies yesterday. And she left me.
You took your lady to the movies yesterday. What movie?
Gentle Road. She hated it. Oh my God.
You went to Gentle Rogue?
Yes.
It was terrible? How many people were in the theater?
My lady and I.
Just the two of you guys?
Yeah.
Wow, Gentle Rogue. Very, very interesting. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you're puking, shitting, or crying.
Me neither. I don't know.
All right, Freddie, I'm sorry to hear that seeing Gentle Rogue didn't help out. It does seem like a man-on-man flick, so I can understand why she didn't like it. You got to play for us today?
Yes. Soccer. Australian A-League. Sydney FC versus Adelaide United. To draw at plus 250 at Bet365.
Your play's an Australian draw.
Yeah.
It's a big plus line. I respect that. Can you repeat it one more time?
Sydney FC versus Adelaide United. To draw at plus 250 at Bet365.
You know, Jose Villegas has a good point. He says, gay porn is not where you take a lady. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us, Freddie. That's Freddie Fortune in the house on a Australian draw after taking his lady to see Gentle Rogue. We're done here. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Rafa, is that? Oh, perfect. I was going to ask you to do that. Perfect. That's the film that you took a woman to see.
Yes.
Tale about a sea captain named Ramon who falls in love with a sea captain named Ramon. And he could have made a different decision. I haven't seen it yet. Thank you guys so much for watching. Most importantly, Leche, Alo's bookmaker, Spidey Power.